Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Semi-Informed Football Podcast. My name is Marko. I'm here with both Mark and Matteo, and we're here to talk about the World Cup so far. So right now, the group stage is officially in the rearview mirror. We actually did the first elimination game round, which had Canada over South Africa. Mark, I'm going to hand that over to you and say, what does this mean, and how is this such a big thing?
Marko, glad to be on. This is a fantastic day for Canadian football. An absolutely monstrous win. Thanks to Steven Eustachio.
No, you're absolutely right. It's the biggest day in Canadian soccer history, hands down. And Jesse Marsch said it best. Every one of those guys on that roster are Canadian heroes.
Yeah, 100%. Honestly, what was the biggest story here that you think? Like again, you mentioned Eustachio putting that away. Great captain of Canada. That was phenomenal. Alphonso Davies subbing in. When did he come in? Like closer to the 80th minute? We weren't even sure if he was going to come in with that last sub. Was that a shock to you?
No, I mean, I think sometimes I don't get the commentators. They keep babbling away about, is she going to come in? Is she going to come in?
Yeah.
He was always going to come in. I think Jesse Marsch was being very tactical and smart with this. He's on a minutes restriction. Okay. There's a good chance this game's going to extra time.
Yeah.
So bringing him in the 50th, 60th minutes, way too early. I think it was really smart. I think it also changed the game, not only for the Canadians, but South Africa is now thinking, we got to defend against this guy now too. And you saw them go into more of a shell, counter. So, yeah, it was fantastic to see.
Yeah, amazing. Matteo, what did you think about the pressure? Because I was watching the game and I saw a lot of Canadian attempts, like even a goal line clearance, a missed header. But then I was just always afraid of one of those counterattacks that was going to actually put it in. Like, what were your thoughts about that?
I think it was nerve-wracking, and it showed some of the players too. This is their biggest stage to play on for the national team, and the first time away from home this tournament. They were in LA for this game. So it was definitely evident they were feeling the pressure, but in the end, you have to play well to win the game. Eustachio's nice little shot, top of the box, puts it away, and we should have scored multiple times, you're right, whether it be a Cornelius missed header in the 6-yard box, which I don't even know how on earth he misses that. But I think they deserve to win. We can play better, which is a promising sign, and we're going to have to, considering who we could play next round in either Netherlands or Morocco.
Very, very tough. Okay. So today really isn't about reviewing every single match that we watched. Like, we're actually going to take a look at just a few pieces, a few topics where and about what we think the outcome is and whether it was a good thing. The first topic is 48 teams in this World Cup. Has it been a success? Did FIFA get this one right? I'm going to give that to you, Mark.
I think it's been a success by accident.
Yes.
I think FIFA was looking for the money aspect under the guise of inclusivity of more countries. In the end, what we saw was maybe there are too many European spots, or maybe we just needed to open up more spots. And so I don't think the quality has been a letdown. There's been, I would say, few and far between blowouts. And even though you had, let's say, that Sweden winning 5-1, right? There are going to be your one or two weak teams like a Tunisia. But even Curacao, they held their own against Ecuador. So we really haven't seen that many blowouts. Even if you look at Canada's game against Qatar is weaker, but they also had 2 reds.
Right.
So I think all in all, the parity is the gap is closing, and that's what we like to see.
I think you're spot on when you say that, especially, early on in the tournament with 48 teams, there's so many different first-time nations that come, whether it be Haiti, Cape Verde, Curacao, and all of these unrepresented teams. For them, it's just a gift to be there. But let's not act like later on in the tournament, these teams will still be there because they have to play giants. And even if they do beat these giants, they deserve to be there then. Giving more guys a shot for the title doesn't lessen the value of the tournament. If anything, it makes it harder to get. By having more people you got to overcome, adding one extra game to your schedule, I don't see a real downside to it. This group stage, honestly, I can't think of one game where it's been like, oh, wow, why are they here? I mean, Cape Verde has knocked out Uruguay for a qualification spot. They held European champion Spain to a tie. Curacao tying Ecuador. So many things. Even Jordan last night, keeping a close game to Argentina. So in that regard, I'll say success. I can't think of a real downside to it.
Yeah, so that's another bonus to this tournament right now. The gap between teams has never been smaller. It's been great for that. Okay, next topic I'm going to take a look at, and I didn't really understand this, right? So the topic is tournament football is different football. Now, I'm going to go give a shout out to my brother-in-law, Danny, who used to always say, following Germany is a tournament team. And I'm like, I never really understood what he meant by that, seeing that, what teams play differently within tournaments than they do other parts of like with the qualifying. I don't quite get that. Does that make any sense to you, Matteo?
It absolutely does. And I'll try to explain it to you in a way that I think most people can understand. When I hear that statement, tournament football is different from regular football, I think it's based off momentum and the players you have available to you, but more so momentum and the vibes you have. If you go on a nice win streak, right, you can, again, drop your first few games, whatever it may be, get a big win, and that ship turns right around. Suddenly your confidence is sky high. You can take on anyone you feel like, and you'll soon find yourself later on in the tournament. Case in point, look at Ecuador this tournament. I think right now their confidence is literally no limits after taking down Germany in their last game, despite messing up in their first two games, losing to Ivory Coast and tying Curacao. And there are some managers and players who thrive off tournaments, while others prefer, let's say, a regular season. So there's definitely a noticeable difference in that regard.
I'm going to throw another thing out there. This is very interesting. Do great goal scorers still decide these tournaments? We've seen a lot of goals coming from Messi, from many other players. Are we expected that these are the players that are really going to help drive these teams?
Yeah. So, Marko, you and I and some other buddies, we've been doing a World Cup pool for goal scorers only, dating back to the early 2000s, I want to say. And it's kind of funny because in all those pools, it was always some no-name guy who would make the difference in winning the pool. Some guy who gets 2 goals or 3 goals. And so when we did an earlier pod talking about the Golden Boot, I was kind of looking for one of those picks, and I said Lautaro Martinez, he's got one. This tournament is showing us that the greats, they cannot be denied. Mbappe, Haaland, Kane, Messi. It's like one rose to the occasion, and all of them said, hold my beer, and
right.
Same thing.
Yeah, I mean, in football, goal scorers are the go-to guys. And this tournament especially has been no different. I mean, Messi at 39 years of age, just the name alone, he's outscoring the world's top talents. Mbappe, Kane, Haaland. Goal scorers will always shine on the biggest stage, none more so than the World Cup. And I'm glad to see that, again, 2026 is no exception.
Yeah. I'm glad to see that all of them are scoring these stars, because that's what you want to see. You want to see your Mbappe score and Haaland and Kane. You want to see them score and not go through a tournament empty, because we've seen that many World Cups where star players don't even get a goal.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah, a good way to look at it. Like, honestly, you've seen these teams. You can have all the possession that you want, really, but it's these elite kind of finishers that are really going to help put these games away. And as of now, Messi's leading the way, but I think there's just a lot more opportunity out there. The thing is, right now, I do think it's going to slow down a little bit, because right now we're going to see the crunch. We're going to see tougher games. We're going to see very, very tighter margins for errors. And really, we're going to see things play out.
Yeah, because in the pools that we've done in the past, we know that the pool was normally won based on the group stage, because that's where you're going to pop more of your goals. Now that everyone knows these guys have scored, they knew that they could score, but I think now there's going to be more defensive coverage and strategy on it.
Definitely. Okay, so this next question is one that I think we've been talking about for weeks. We just haven't been able to kind of fit it onto a podcast right now. But something that I'd like to call the Ronaldo question. So, big tournament talking point right now. Is Cristiano Ronaldo helping Portugal, or is Portugal helping Cristiano Ronaldo? I think we have some kind of diametrically opposed views on this, but I'm going to get this one off to you, Matteo, first. Is he a crutch, or is he really helping the team?
Okay, I'll tell you the honest truth. I don't think there's any disputing it. Ronaldo, he's hurting this Portuguese team, and he's the reason why they're not serious contenders. And I'll explain to you why. I've been saying this for a number of years. Ronaldo, as he's gotten older, even in his younger years, has been a man that requires the team to play around him. And before, on Real, even on Juve at times, when he was playing at the wing, striker, he was good enough in his finishing, athletic ability, age. He was at the point where he justified that. He can carry a team as long as they fed him the ball and he'll do his thing. Now, at his ripe age of 41 or 42, he can't do that same ability anymore. And he hasn't been able to do that for the past few years, which is why he's been exiled from Europe. So the fact that he's starting in this Portuguese team is mind-boggling. Yes, he will grab 2 goals against Uzbekistan. But as we've seen, even against the Congo, Colombia, any real opposition, he will not shine. And because of that, Portugal will suffer.
Mark, your view.
I agree wholeheartedly. I said on the pod before that I thought it was Roberto Martinez is the problem because he's going to stick with Ronaldo to the end. He's going to start him. What's interesting is that Ronaldo needs to start and play all 90 minutes, whereas Messi has the humility to come off the bench in that game against Jordan and still score. And I'm sorry, but it's an illusion when Ronaldo scores 2 and then looks to the camera and says, I'm back, because it was against Uzbekistan. So if he was back, where was he against Colombia?
Exactly.
Okay.
Plus, you know what? It's funny you mentioned the minutes. Because again, he's older. He knows his body is not what it used to be. Yet he's so insistent of he wants to play all the time. And that's fine. You're right. But when you said the coach, that's his choice to either drop, use him as a sub, start him. You were absolutely right. It goes down to Martinez, the manager. And he doesn't have the courage, we'll say, to bench him. Because I'm not saying Ronaldo's useless. I'll be a little bit nice to him. He's not useless. He can still finish at a decent level. I'll give him that. Give him a chance. He'll put it away. More so than other guys they have. However, he cannot be starting a game. Maybe in the 70th minute when everyone's gassed and they're all at his speed. But for you to sit there and tell me that you expect him to be your number 9, leading your team to World Cup glory, getting past all the giants, for 90 minutes, you can't tell me that with a straight face. He's not what he used to be, but man, they're using him wrong.
Listen, I disagree with you there, Matteo. I do think Ronaldo has taken exceptional care of his body. He's in better shape than you, and he's in his 40s. Yeah, seriously, like, he did pot 2 nice goals against Uzbekistan. Not going to deny that either. I just think the problem is more, you said it earlier, it's more selfish that he needs the attention. He needs the ball. It has to go through him. I think that's more the problem. And honestly, if the guy could just humble himself, it would actually be great to bring on Ronaldo in the 80th minute if you're in a close game and it's going to go into extra time and he's a premier penalty kick taker. So that would be the ideal solution for Portugal to win. And with the rest of the squad that they have, the best Portuguese squad ever, they could probably already have the win already tied up in the first 70 minutes.
Very interesting. Mark, I do agree with you on a few different things. I do agree with you that this is probably the best Portugal squad we've seen in a very, very long time. I think we've all been kind of looking at that Uzbekistan game, the game where they won 5-0. I did take a look at that. Now, I think with me, this team with Ronaldo, isn't playing with your traditional striker. So, Ronaldo being a phenomenal winger, a phenomenal inverted winger, Manchester United with Real Madrid. But as he's aged, his body slowed down a little bit. So he's playing a little bit more of a number 9, but he's not the traditional number 9. The way I look to it, and I really did take a look at that Uzbekistan game as one, I'm like, yes, you know what? Ronaldo does belong here as an expert marksman and somebody that's really going to grab all the attention towards him. So I'm going to take a look at the first 3 games versus Uzbekistan. He scored the first goal. He scored the third goal, which I feel that your traditional number 9 would have driven that directly at the goalie. Whereas what Ronaldo did is he just tactfully picked the corner, which I thought was a really, really great. He slid it right into the corner. But those aren't even the 2 goals that are exciting. The Portugal's second goal, they were lining up and everybody was looking at Ronaldo and everybody was so excited. My God, let's see what he does with this. All the magic he did. And it looked like he was going to line up for it. And he didn't move. And Nuno Mendes kicked it right into the net. And that's where I thought it was perfect because, we could talk about this, Mark. You talked about ego, being selfish and everything like that. I think that you look at it a different way. Like he is just a huge competitor that's been a phenomenal competitor for about 25 years. You can't just give that away. You can't just say, you know what, I'm going to come on as a sub. I feel like he still thinks he can contribute at the highest level. And I think that compared to a regular number 9, I think he's just a great marksman that can be used in that scenario. Now, similar to Messi. Messi has been doing it this whole tournament, just finding that exact corner, picking that off. Again, it hasn't worked out exactly like that with Ronaldo, but I really do think that with Ronaldo as a number 9 and how they play, they could really definitely use them. I just find that Portugal as a whole could have played a little bit differently, but I do think Ronaldo has a place on this team and a place as a starter.
Well, I'll end it on this about the ego. Whether it was at Madrid or Juve or in the Saudi or even with the national team, watch the way he celebrates when he scores versus when a teammate scores. Because I remember those Madrid days. Okay, someone else scored. He's not going up to them to celebrate.
It has to be him. It has to be him. You know what? I guess that's his personality. But again, one of the most dangerous, I guess, goal scorers of all time. Like,
If he can
it's ridiculous.
aside, Portugal could win the tournament. Just saying.
That's, you know what? Maybe we'll never even know that.
But like, asking Ronaldo, mentioning Ronaldo in the same sentence as the word humble, you might as well throw in Zlatan. It's not going to happen. So.
Yeah. So when you guys were talking about this, I thought there was another topic that I was really, really thinking a lot of in the last little bit. The idea of a sub or even a super sub. I find that this tournament has shown me that there aren't necessarily just starters or subs. There's people that have been brought on for momentum and for that extra oomph. One example that I think of exactly, if like I was watching Germany's games and Dennis Undav being subbed in and scoring within moments of just getting subbed in the second half. Like, he has 3 goals, I think, in 40 minutes of play before they actually played against that quarter. Like that, for me, that was phenomenal. But my question is here, after a bunch of rambling, is that do we look at these people as subs or look at them as impact adjustments for that time?
Well, yeah, I think too much is put into the I need to be a starter as opposed to I want to win the World Cup. And sometimes even great players, if you recognize that you coming in later in the game is going to have an impact that can make you win, why not, ride the first half on the bench and then come in and be, either that continuation or that game change. And speaking about older players who has been an impact sub, look at Lukaku.
Right.
He's come on late and scored, I think, 2 goals, right, in 2 different games. Scored as soon as he got on in one game.
Yeah, and that comes to a player kind of knowing his role and just kind of gravitating towards it. Matteo, what do you think about this idea of this kind of impact player?
I think you're right. I mean, not so much in the sense that a sub needs to accept their role and, they can make a difference off the bench. That's always been there. I think now, the fact that there's 5 subs, coaches are really taking advantage of the number of changes they have. It can even make tactical adjustments, changing formation, as opposed to just doing a straight swap. So I think Canada is the best example I can think of top of my head. Look at guys like Kyle Larin and Ali Ahmed, okay? Whenever they're playing Canada, and let's say they're in a 4-4-2, it'll be a close game, whatever. Whenever Ali Ahmed comes on in the midfield and they'll replace the striker with Kyle Larin, they change their shape so that Ali Ahmed in particular has more freedom and creative time on the ball, and Kyle Larin will be the next target man as opposed to having 2 regular strikers side by side. And in this example, all I'm trying to tell you is that tactics change along with the players rather than just the names on the shirt. And that can really change the entire game plan, and we've seen it with a number of nations. So keep an eye on that.
Well, sidetrack here, but if there's one thing Jesse Marsh could do to improve Canada is not play Tani Oluwaje.
God, yeah.
This guy can do everything but what he's supposed to do, and that's finish.
God, don't even get me started on this guy.
I don't know why he plays. I think it's detrimental to the team, to be honest.
I think so too. Let's stay focused here.
Let's stay focused.
A Canadian bias aside.
My next 2 questions are going to be really kind of quick answers, though. So this one's really, really interesting, and I will give you guys a moment to think about it. What would your second team be? Not a team that you're sort of affiliated to, Canada, but a team that you really have no affiliation with, just watching their games and you love that element of heart. What is your second team? Mark, I'm going to give that one to you.
That's a tough one, Marko. There's a bunch of teams I like because I like the way they play. And, I'm a football purist. I just want to see the best possible play. I always have this liking for Japan. I love the way Colombia played yesterday. Same with Norway, Senegal. Love the way Morocco just attacks everything. If I had to pick one of those, I think I thoroughly enjoyed the Colombia game against Portugal yesterday. So I would say that I'd choose Colombia.
I think Colombia, all they needed was a draw and they would lock up first place, but they came out playing to win it. So that was a thoroughly enjoying game. And I knew it would be looking at the kind of schedule going forward. But anyway, Matteo, I'm going to give that to you. Who is your second team?
Well, Mark stole my pick. Colombia I've been raving about for the past month. But in the spirit of being creative, I'll make a new one for you. There's a number of teams I have my eye on, okay? Don't get me wrong. A number of teams. Sadly, the team that I probably enjoyed watching the most is actually out right now at the tournament.
Oh,
And it was Scotland. So I'm saying that because the raw support they had from their fans, you couldn't help but fall in love. It was so contagious. They go to Boston, make the city run out of beer. Everywhere they go, it's a party. They go to baseball games, take over the sport. Norway fans, same thing. Scotland for me were the best in that regard. I wish they went through to the knockouts because, man, even now I'm smiling thinking about it. Do you know how awesome it would be to see, Scotland versus like a Germany or whoever else? It'd be incredible. But sadly, they're out. But out of the teams remaining, I'll say my team is I'll say Colombia too.
What about you, Marco?
I'm going to mention two teams right here. Cote d'Ivoire. It was just really, really impactful. Like, again, watching that Ivory Coast Cote d'Ivoire game versus Germany, they were relentless. They're playing wide. Diomande was amazing. And he's somebody that I picked as being probably one of the newly formed 100 billionaires after coming out of this tournament, because it's just so amazing on the wing. But I'm going to pick one that probably won't go an extra round, but I really, really love this story from Cabo Verde. Just like nobody really even knowing that the country exists, to everybody kind of writing them off in the beginning, to Vozinha having, a crazy breakthrough at the age of 40 and being able to bring his mother from back home to the US to watch this. That's my favorite second team, and I really hope that they can kind of pull it through. It seems like a fun
for sure. We'll tell Messi to keep it easy on Vozinha.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something? That like a low block that Cabo Verde puts out there, and they end up sending their reigning champs.
They did hold Spain to a scoreless draw. So
yeah.
It's okay. I'm sure Messi's listening to this podcast right now. So Messi, por favor, please take it easy on these guys. I beg you.
Okay, kind of last question here that I'm going to take a look at. Knockout rounds right now. Again, we saw one happening today. There's a lot coming this week going forward. Does experience trump like enthusiasm in this, Mark?
Normally, I would say yes, but the way I've seen some of these teams like Morocco, Iran, Algeria, Curacao, the way I see them not just playing the low block, but actually going out and attacking. Like Morocco is amazing for that pressure, right? And so I think this tournament is different, and I'm not going to give so much credence to experience. I think a lot of teams are like, you know what, we can beat these European teams now, or we have no fear, and we are going to throw it all out there. Cape Verde, Congo, we're just going to throw it all out there. So I think a lot more is on the side of momentum and hype as opposed to experience this tournament.
Yeah, Matteo.
See, I was thinking the exact opposite. Youth is very important in any team, having that injection of pace, dynamism, that kind of vibe. But I think this World Cup we've seen more so than others that experience is being prevalent. I mean, example, Messi, 39 years old, being the player of the tournament so far. Guys like Kane still kicking in there. I think with the added game and with all these different teams in there, just my opinion, I think experience, calmness, composure will shine more than just raw youth.
Yeah. What I want to add to that is that I feel like it's like, I do understand the idea of experience, but I feel like it's the team that's composed enough not to make that mistake. Because at this, I think we're going to see low scoring games in the round of 32, round of 16 going forward. But it's that team that is composed enough not to make that stupid mistake and, lead that counterattack. Like I remember, again, I think I've mentioned it 10 times on this pod before, but Brazil, Croatia in a World Cup where Brazil had 22 shots on net and Croatia had one, and it was a small deflection, and that's it. Brazil went home. So I think it comes down to the teams that can play comfortable enough that they will not make that stupid mistake.
Well, I think there's really going to be more upsets than you guys might think in this round of 32. So with that said, I just want to jump into a rapid fire. Let's go through the games and make predictions. Let's start with Brazil, Japan. Marco.
I'm going to pick Brazil.
Matteo?
If you dare tell me Japan, I'm actually going to laugh at you. Brazil, yes.
I'm picking Japan for an upset.
My goodness.
Just to be different. That's okay.
Germany, Paraguay. I'm going to go Germany.
I have to go Germany as well.
All right. Netherlands, Morocco. Matteo, you start.
Oh, gut tells me Netherlands.
I'm going to go with Morocco.
All right. I'm going Netherlands. Cote d'Ivoire, Norway. This is a
Cote
tough
d'Ivoire.
I think I'm going to pick Norway. I don't know. I guess European teams.
I'm going Cote d'Ivoire too. France, Sweden.
I wish Sweden, but come on.
France.
Yeah, come on.
France.
Okay, another tough one here. Mexico, Ecuador.
We biased aside. Viva Ecuador, come on.
Marco.
As much as I do love what Ecuador bring, I think it's going to be home team advantage. I don't know. Maybe I'm going to pick Mexico.
Marco,
I know not. One.
Okay, I'm going to go with Ecuador. Okay,
There you
England, Congo. Let me just say this now. Congo with the upset.
My God. We're trying to be a serious podcast here, Mark. What's going on?
Well, we have you on the show.
Wow. Okay, well, in that case, I'm going to go the serious answer. Go England. Come on.
Congo.
England.
Belgium, Senegal. I'm going to go Senegal. Belgium has somehow managed to last this long.
Yeah, Belgium, I don't know what's wrong with these guys. Senegal, yep.
Yeah. Senegal of firepower. Yeah.
Okay, and using Marco's White House advantage, I'm picking USA over Bosnia.
Yeah, the States, for sure.
Yeah, I can't see Bosnia winning this game.
Spain, Austria. Spain.
Yeah, nail biter that one. Spain.
Yeah, Spain.
Portugal, Croatia. Portugal.
Hey, you know what? Speaking of upsets, this could be Croatia, but Portugal, though. Portugal.
No.
It could be. Come back to this. If Ronaldo's starting, keep an eye.
Marco.
I'm going to say Portugal. However, this is going to put a huge damper on all the traffic in the city of Toronto. It's going to be insane.
Should I predict that this one's going to kicks now or what?
Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying.
No, you put in that writer. I love it.
All right, Switzerland, Algeria. I'm actually picking Algeria for the upset.
I can see where you're coming from, but for me, the Swiss are too class all around.
Yeah. Switzerland because of experience.
The same Swiss that tied Qatar 1-1. Okay, Australia, Egypt.
Australia, I rate them pretty highly.
Egypt. I don't know why. I like the last two games they played.
Look, this is really tough for me. I think Australia's riding high, but I'm not gonna. I gotta ride the Egyptian king here, Mo Salah, for the win.
Mo Salah.
Argentina, Cabo Verde.
Next, move on. Let's go, please.
Marco, are you picking the upset here?
I'm picking Cape Verde. I told you that's my second
God.
team.
Hey, it can happen.
Why not?
All right.
My God, put a bet on that, please,
Okay,
someone.
I'll go with Argentina just to be, opposite of Marco.
But yeah, that's right.
And the last game is Colombia, Ghana, Colombia.
Colombia all the way.
Yeah, they've impressed me a lot. Colombia.
All right. Marco, quick fire. Take it away. So, guys, I have a couple of other questions for you. Marco, we'll start with you. Who's been the biggest surprise?
Yeah, I like Curacao. Like they got blown out in the first game against Germany 7-1, but then they came back and had really respectable games the next two games. Like I think for a nation that small to kind of be on the world stage to play against, really strong teams, I think they were really respectable.
Matteo, what about you?
I think it has to be Cape Verde, a country with a population of 500,000 people, only conceding 2 goals in 3 games, not losing one of them, and going into the knockout rounds, gonna play against the reigning world champions. Surely it has to be that.
All right, and for me, nothing surprised me so far. So let's go on.
He saw everything coming. Mark knew
right.
it.
The Oracle. Biggest disappointment, Matteo.
You know what? Considering the raw size and passion in this country, Uruguay. I can't even begin to tell you how much. Again, they weren't expected to win the full thing, but the fashion they crashed out of this tournament, the lack of class from the manager Bielsa, players that did play were horrible. Those who didn't play could have done better. It's just a sad sight for me.
And Marco?
Yeah. For a big disappointment for me, it's got to be Turkey. I just felt that they had such class players, and to just not do anything with that. Although I do love that last game against the USA where they scored right in stoppage time. It was just a little too late.
Yeah. For me, I think the biggest disappointment, hear me out, I think it's been England. They don't look convincing like a team that can win this tournament. And I think it's sort of same old. That's what I think.
I mean, can you be a disappointment top of the group? I don't know, but I see what you're saying. But it's a reach.
Yeah. What about player of the tournament so far? Matteo, I think you're just going to say Messi. So let's move to Marco.
So I can say Messi. It's not an easy one to say. Like, again, how clinical he's been with the scoring. Scoring so much. Like, again, being the only player on his team scoring for 2 games and even potting one in off the bench in the 3rd game. I don't know how you can say anybody else. But Mark, you're going to tell me?
Well, just playing devil's advocate, if we say Ronaldo scoring 2 goals against an Uzbek team, is it fair to say that Messi's also got these goals against teams like Algeria and Jordan? Okay, so I don't know if I'd say this guy's been the player of the tournament, but the player that I've enjoyed watching the most has probably been John Arias from Colombia.
Yes.
I really think that he's probably earning a contract, and we'll talk about that later on. Who's earning a payday here? I think he's really showing the world his class. All right, so we did our predictions, but really, when it all boils down to it, which team is most likely to surprise in the knockouts? Let's not just say the round of 32, but which team do you think could actually surprise in the knockouts and go pretty deep?
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to jump on that one itself. And I don't even recall when you were doing the rapid fire if I picked this team, but I think the scoring of Holland might take Norway a little bit deep. Who knows? It's a flip of a coin for me, but like I would not be surprised if they'll go as far as Holland can take.
See, I would love to say Colombia, but at this point, I think everyone knows they're good. So I'm going to give you a little more obscure pick, and I'm going to go in the opposite of Norway. Ivory Coast. They're playing them in the round of 32. They have a really solid team. We saw that in the group stage, and the player who's impressed me the most as a surprise player, not too much surprise, but Diamande. He's been incredible. Dynamic, deadly, strong, fast. I think he, along with a few others, can make this team go on a run.
All right. Different direction here. I really think that if Congo can upset England, Congo can make at least one more upset going further.
Man, you do not like England, eh?
No, but I mean, I want to give credit to Congo too. I just think Congo is going to go far. They got Wisa. People forget about him. So I don't know if they can get through England. I think they can get through the round of 16. All right. And what's one prediction you think you'll come to regret, Marko?
It's so easy for everybody to say, and France and Spain, and one of those teams that are dropping off early. I just don't know how it's going to happen.
I mean, for my part, I don't think there's too many things I'm going to regret. I'm being pretty cocky here, but I thought about this pretty well. However, if there's one route maybe that I could retract, I mentioned on a different pod, Mexico are going to go the furthest out of the three host nations. Seeing the teams they have now and seeing where everyone is, I don't think that's the case, even with the support in the Azteca, Monterrey, down south. But that being said, they could surprise me. So,
all right. Maybe a prediction. I hope it comes true, but I might come to regret this. Canada's going to make it to the quarterfinals. Somehow, some way, they will get through either Netherlands or Morocco.
I'm loving the optimism, but I'd love to hear some logic behind this madness in a short sentence, if you could.
There's really no logic because last time Canada played the Netherlands, they got whooped 4-0.
That's
that
promising.
Just before the Copa America. Morocco was in our group last World Cup. I thought Canada and Morocco actually played pretty tight. If memory serves me correctly, we lost 1-0. So, yeah.
4 years ago.
You know what? But we're a better Canadian team. I'm just going to say my logic will just be it's an elimination game and anything can happen.
There you go.
Fair enough. Yeah. Logic trumps everything here. And that's where logic prevails. So, that's what we've learned from the group stage and heading into the elimination round. But this is where the fun really begins. We're keeping you
semi-informed.